The clamor over the assassination of Daria Dugina highlights the prominence of her fellow pro-war Russian ultranationalists. Russian authorities accused Ukraine on Monday of assassinating an ultranationalist commentator as figures in Russia's pro-war camp clamored for retaliation, highlighting the growing domestic political pressure that President Vladimir V Putin is facing 6 months after he ordered the invasion of Ukraine. The swift claim by Russia's domestic intelligence agency to have solved the crime, and the heated demands for vengeance, pointed to the expanding influence of Russia's ultranationalist hawks, a loose group of writers, business magnates and politicians who celebrated Mr. Putin's war and have since grown frustrated that the Kremlin is trying to maintain a sense of normalcy at home rather than putting the nation on a war footing. Ukraine denied any connection to the car bombing near Moscow on Saturday that killed Daria Dugina, 29, daughter of Alexander Dugin, a political theorist who has long called for the reconquest of Ukraine and whose hawkish visions of a resurgent, imperial and anti-liberal Russia provided an intellectual framework for Mr. Putin's aggressive foreign policy. Pro-Kremlin voices aimed their wrath at Estonia as well as Ukraine, suggesting that Estonia, our NATO member, was sheltering the assassin. A senior Russian lawmaker, Vladimir Jabarov, said that if Estonia did not hand her over, there would be every reason for the Russian Federation to take tough actions against the Estonian state, hinting at the possibility of an escalation in Russia's broader conflict with the West. Ukraine's presidential advisor, Mikhailo Podolyak, said on Twitter that the FSB statement was propaganda from a fictional world. Andriy Yusov, a spokesman for Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Agency, said in a statement, "It is a fake that Ukraine is involved in this. But it was not immediately possible to verify either the allegations or the denials, as is often the case in war. Russia has shut down independent reporting and has made it a crime to dispute the Kremlin's account of the war. Russian claims, in particular, about atrocities, provocations and battlefield setbacks have repeatedly proved false." Russian media speculated that Mr. Dugin, who is better known and more influential and had been with his daughter at a nationalist festival shortly before she was killed, was the intended target. But the FSB said the operation was meant to kill Ms. Dugina, who had earned a following with frequent appearances on state media. The festival had been organized by a nationalist writer, Zaka Prilipin, who has long advocated an imperialist foreign policy by Moscow and last year was elected to Russia's parliament, a sign of the nationalists' rising stature in Mr. Putin's system. Ms. Dugina represented a youthful face of that camp, using her own rising prominence on social media and television to cast the Ukraine war as only a part of an existential conflict against the West's global hegemony that Russia was destined to fight.